You still remember the phone call, the voice on the other end of the line telling you that you've lost your best friend. Tears roll down your face as your mind flashes back to the last time you saw them, the argument you had before they slammed the door and drove away. You feel numb. Everything seems so surreal. Your world has just turned upside down and you don't know what to do. Hello, and welcome to MedTouch, the best place to find the right medical information. Dealing with the loss of a loved one at any point in time can be extremely overwhelming and distressing. The feeling can only be described as a giant bruise that's slow to heal and painful to touch. Grief is an intensely personal experience. However, over the years, researchers have noticed commonalities between the emotions that you're likely to experience as you mourn the loss of your loved one. Learning about these commonalities can help you feel more prepared and less alone as you begin your journey through the grieving process. That's why in today's video, we're going to discuss 5 tips that you can use to help better understand your grief and put into context where you are in your own grieving process. Tip 1. Grieve your way. Everyone has their own way of coping with the loss of a loved one. Some people find comfort in quotes or prayer. Some people prefer to talk it through with others. And some people prefer to take action by holding a memorial, planting a tree, or making a donation. Your upbringing and culture also impacts how you memorialize your loss. Some cultures expect a quiet and dignified response, whilst others expect an open and honest display of emotions. Engaging in a culturally appropriate ritual, such as funerals, cremations, wakes, or annual celebrations, are found to be a powerful way to help you come to terms with your loss. How you decide to mourn the loss of your loved one is entirely up to you. In addition to cultural, religious, and spiritual rituals, you may want to pay respects and celebrate the life of your loved one in a way that is meaningful for you. For instance, you may want to make a memory box that includes sentimental items or photographs and place it in their favorite spot in the house. Whenever you need a comforting reminder, visit your memory box and spend some time reliving all your favorite memories. You may also want to write a letter from your heart to let go of any negative thoughts, regrets, or things you wish you could have said to your loved one. Just remember, when it comes to grief, there's no right or wrong answer. Only you can decide what you feel is right and natural for you. Tip 2. Understand the stages of grief. In 1969, a psychiatrist named Elizabeth Kubler-Ross introduced the 5-stage model of grief and loss. This model is widely used today as it highlights the process of grief as 5 stages rather than an isolated emotional response. Although not everyone will experience all 5 stages or in the particular order they're presented, they serve as an extremely powerful tool for helping to understand and put into perspective where in the grief process you are. Here is a brief overview of each stage. Stage 1. Denial. The moment you receive the news that you no longer have your loved one in your life to hold, to touch, to love, to talk to, and share your life with, your body will most likely go into a state of shock. This is the beginning of the denial phase. During this stage, you may refuse to believe your loved one is gone, and you may find yourself clinging to the false hope that a mistake has been made and that your loved one is still alive. Denial is a completely normal response, and it serves an important purpose. It's the first line of defense that your body uses to cope with intense pain and distress. By denying reality, you suppress the full impact of your emotions, which prevents you from becoming completely overwhelmed with grief. In a way, Denial is your brain's way of telling you that it can only deal with so much pain at one time. Once denial starts to fade, your true emotions surface and the healing process begins. Stage 2. Anger. When you've lost a loved one, you're likely to experience a range of emotions, especially anger. You may feel furious at your loved one for leaving you, or perhaps filled with rage that there's nothing you can do to bring them back. You may even subconsciously redirect your anger and lash out at your friends, family, strangers, or even inanimate objects. Although it may not feel like it, anger is necessary for healing. Not only does anger allow you to let go of all the pain that's building up inside of you, but it also allows you to reconnect with those around you, particularly if you isolated yourself during the denial stage. It may not be the friendliest way to reconnect, but it's a start. Stage 3. Bargaining. During the bargaining stage, you might find yourself willing to do anything in your power to go back in time and prevent the loss of your loved one. Your mind may be full of questions such as what if or if only, accompanied by intense feelings of guilt. Similar to denial, bargaining is a defense mechanism that helps you process and make sense of your emotions without causing you to become immobilized by grief. Stage 4. Depression. Depression is experienced differently by each person, and although it can feel overwhelming and intense, it's a natural part of the grieving process. However, if you're having trouble coping or moving past this stage, it's important to seek help and reach out to a mental health professional for support. Stage 5. Acceptance. During the acceptance stage, you'll begin to come to terms and accept the reality of the loss you've experienced. This doesn't mean that you no longer feel pain or sadness from the loss of your loved one. It just means that your perspective has changed. From here, you can start to move on slowly and readjust your life accordingly. Tip 3. Manage your emotions. As you process your grief, you're likely to experience a wave of new emotions every day, every hour, or every minute. You may have periods of time where you start to feel better and begin to return to your normal activities, or you may have times where you feel withdrawn, angry, or depressed and need to be alone, away from others. You may also feel more intense emotions during certain significant dates, such as anniversaries, holidays, or birthdays. Although shifting between emotions is a natural part of the healing process, it's important to practice emotion management when possible. When you feel an emotion, name it, understand it, and accept it without blaming yourself or others for how you feel. Then, rather than sweeping it under the rug, release your emotion in a healthy way. For example, use your creativity to express how you feel through music, art, or writing. Or release any anger and frustration through physical activity, such as boxing or using punching bags. Just remember, your grief is your own. If you have to cry, cry. If you have to scream, scream. If you have to punch a punching bag, punch it. Feel whatever you have to feel without embarrassment, shame, or hurting others in the process. Tip 4. Take care of yourself. When you're grieving, the stress of a major loss can be both physically and emotionally draining. So during this time, self-care is more important than ever. Take care of your physical health by getting enough sleep, eating a healthy, balanced diet, and engaging in regular exercise. Stay clear of numbing your pain with alcohol or other substances. No matter what, these won't heal your pain or make you feel better. Instead, look after your emotional health by taking a break from grieving to reconnect and spend time with supportive friends and family. It's also important to engage in hobbies and interests that bring you joy. And if you're up for it, get involved in a cause or charity organization that was important to your loved one, or join a local support group to connect with like-minded people. Most importantly, Be kind to yourself. Grief can be cruel, but each day, bit by bit, it gets easier. So keep going and don't give up. Tip 5. Forgive and say goodbye. Once you've processed your pain, it's time to forgive and let go. In your own time, find a quiet spot to be alone. Take a deep breath in. Think about all the regrets you have, all the things you wish you had said or did when your loved one was around. And as you breathe out, let go of all your anger, your sadness, your despair. Let go of all the things you did or didn't do. Let go of unfulfilled wishes and promises. Forgive yourself and your loved one too. And when you're ready, say goodbye to your loved one in your own way. Have a conversation with your loved one as if they were there with you in the room. It doesn't matter what you say, as long as it comes from your heart. Remember, saying goodbye doesn't mean forgetting. Your loved one's legacy will continue to live on in your fondest and most cherished memories. So, there you have it. 5 tips for understanding and processing the loss of a loved one. Remember, although the experience of grief is universal, the process itself is not linear or straightforward. If you're feeling overwhelmed or unable to cope with your grief, reach out to a mental health professional right away. You are not alone. Help is always just a phone call away. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, leave us a comment, and turn on that notification bell so we can stay in touch.